Hi everyone, my name is Emily and I am a knitter and crocheter in North Carolina, United States. I know that there are a lot of options when it comes to knitting content, so I really appreciate you choosing to spend some time with me today. Today is the last day of 2023, at least for me, the day that I'm recording this video, and this past week I sat down and really looked at my yarn stash and made some decisions in terms of what I want to make this next year. It was kind of funny how when I really sat down and started to focus, I realized that I didn't have as many projects as I thought I did. I was playing around with titles for this video like 24 sweaters in 2024, but it turns out it's more like 8. I should probably start with what I'm wearing today. This is the Hawthorne sweater by, I believe the designer is pronounced Darling Jador, I'm not quite sure. But this is my most worn sweater. When it's cold outside and I'm outside with my son, I just throw this on. It's pretty pilly on the bottom because I'm wearing it all the time when we go out to go play. The first project on my list for today is the Tulip sweater. I was recently watching Carly Page, who is a knitting podcaster on YouTube, and she made a beautiful mustard version. She did the crop version and she wore it with a jumpsuit, but I thought it was a skirt. And I remember that I have this yarn. It is a yarn that I got at a yarn festival here in North Carolina. It is 100% alpaca and it's undyed. So it has that beautiful tan color. And it's about a sport weight, I would say. And Carly Page said that she made hers in a sport weight, I believe. So I recently got the tulip sweater pattern, and the idea is that I'll be able to have this color go with a lot of different things in the summer and the spring and the fall. If I want to do any range of those colors, this should go with it. And I have 2 of these. One of these I made into a ball. I recently got I have a Swift and a ball winder, so I was able to make this one into a nice little cake. But I am super excited for that one. The next sweater that I want to talk about is the one that we've all seen before, and it's the Ranuculus. And I did actually make it, but I held 2 strands of fingering yarn together, and I am not super crazy about the chunkiness of it. I've worn it for a while. I made it about a year ago, and I've been wearing it, but I am curious what it would look like in a fingering weight version. I got this yarn, and it is, I'm not quite sure how to say it, it's the Illuminani Sabri. It's mostly cotton with some baby alpaca in it. I don't have the ball band for it anymore, but I originally made the Ranuculus because I was inspired by a beautiful gray version that I saw in the projects page on Ravelry. So I have enough left that I can cast on a fingering weight version and try it on and see how it goes. And maybe I think I'll like a fingering weight version better, but we'll see. I won't touch this until I get far enough with this so I can decide. The next project I want to work on, I'm still a little indecisive about. About a year ago, I made this Ragin Tea out of Lion Brand Kobu that I got from Walmart. You can tell, you might not be able to tell on camera, but here is a line where the balls that I got were different dye lots, and I did not notice until I started knitting it. And luckily, it kind of just looks like it's a 2-toned shirt. But I'm not crazy about the way that it fits. I literally just have to put the ribbing on this other one, on this other arm. So there's a chance that I might just finish this and then get different yarn for the pattern I was thinking of. I'm thinking about making the Anchor Tee by Petite Knit in this yarn. It's a nice summery yarn and it's really soft and I like it. So I believe that the gauge for the Anchor Tee is the same as the gauge for this yarn. And I've seen a lot of beautiful white versions and I'm interested in trying that. But I think I'm going to try this on again and decide. We'll see. The next project I want to work on is also inspired by Petite Knit. I really like the lattice design on the Ingrid sweater. but I'm not crazy about the rest of it. But I like parts of the storm sweater that got released right after I started trying to make my own sweater. So this is way too big. It is way too big. I knew that I needed 16 stitches for the lattice that I want to do up top. And somehow I thought that I needed this many stitches. And I got frustrated when I found out it was too big, so I stopped. But what I'm going to do, I'm really going to take a good measurement of the gauge. I'm also going to rip it out because I'm not crazy about the garter stitch that I did in between each section. It just kind of lays funny, and I know that I could probably block it out, but because this is acrylic, I would have to use steam. I'm thinking that instead I'm going to do a lateral braid between each section. This is just generic yarn I got from Michael's like 4 years ago, and it's been sitting in my stash, and this is the second sweater that I've tried to make with it. The first one I started when I was pregnant with my son, and then I got morning sickness and quit knitting for a while, and then went back to the sweater I was trying to make and just couldn't stand looking at it again. So hopefully the third time is the charm. But I think that's all there is for this one. We'll see how that little mashup goes. The next project is definitely an interesting one. You guys are going to think that I constantly want to rip out everything that I make, but I crocheted this sweater this year. It's a design by Knits and Knots, Janine Miska, who is a crochet designer. She published a book and I got it and fell in love with this sweater. But when I went to get the yarn, accidentally bought sock yarn before I knew what I was doing. So I made the sweater and figured out how to make up for the difference in gauge, and even changed it from a drop shoulder to a circular yoke. But then I blocked the sweater and it grew a lot. And I thought about ripping it back a little bit, but that would be complicated because it's actually bottom up. And so to make the sleeves longer, I would have to redo this whole top part. But honestly, I think that because of the yarn choice, I'm going to have to just knit it, which I crochet and I knit, and I see no problem going from crocheting to knitting. So I'm just going to rip it out and try knitting it. I think I might do the same circular yoke, but go top down, and just see how it looks. I'm probably going to end up getting the right yarn for this, but maybe in just different colors for that design. And I might end up using this yarn for something else completely. We'll see. The next project that I have an idea for is just a boxy tee. I've seen a post on Instagram from Fiber Tales for a design that I can't find on her website or on her Ravelry page. I think that she might have never published it, but I really like the way that it looks. It's a boxy tee and it has scalloped crochet edges on the bottom. I was also inspired by a Pinterest post that I found from a fashion blogger called Selective Potential, I believe. It's just a V-neck tank top that is knit in this mustard color. So I got this Pima cotton from Lion Brand, and it's in the color Mineral Yellow, and I really like it. I would just get the design from Fiber Tales, but I can't find it. She might have never published it. If you guys know, definitely let me know. I would love to make her design, but otherwise I'll just do generic boxy tee and then just add my own crochet scalping on the bottom. I recently was in Orlando, Florida by the University of Central Florida, and there's a super cute new shop. I have a card. I just wanted to give it a shout out. It's called Knitcessities. It's a new little place, and the owner was super kind. I was super excited when I went because they carry Knitting for Olive, and I have heard about Knitting for Olive. A lot of people use Knitting for Olive, but I had never felt it before. I considered getting it, but was hesitant because of the shipping. but in this store I got to hold the yarn and actually feel it. So the next few projects are both in Knitting for Olive. This one is merino and this one is cotton merino. This one I got because I was inspired by a picture I saw on Instagram for a sweater, and it's spelled PPO. I'm assuming it's Popo sweater, and I have no idea how to pronounce the designer's name. I'll just link it below like I'll link everything else below. And it's this beautiful navy blue raglan sweater that's in moss stitch. And that's essentially what the design I want to go for. I want to do a raglan, and I might do like knit, knit, purl, knit, knit for the raglan, and then carry the design down the side. I might go crazy and try to do like a curved hem on the bottom, but maybe by the time I get done with that fingering weight sweater, I might not want to worry about that. We'll see. It's kind of my thing I keep saying. We'll see. Oh, and this is in the color navy blue. I do actually have something to show you for the next part. This is something that I started recently in the Knitting for Olive cotton merino in the color soft aqua. And this is very soft. The merino is definitely a little dry, but it is not scratchy at all. It's a little dry, but it feels nice. This is more smooth, and it definitely feels cool to the touch. It's absolutely beautiful. And I made this front panel already. I recently finished it, and the idea is that I am going to make it a button-up drop shoulder, essentially like a waffle stitch shirt, but I'm knitting it out of fingering weight yarn. But it's turning out really good so far. I like it. I made it so that I could do the knit purl row on the back and then be able to just knit across the front. That definitely makes it go faster instead of having to do knit purl and then do knits all the way across. So I'm going to next do the same panel but then decrease on the opposite side so that it'll be mirrored. And then I'll do the back and then do just straight arms and then add a button band and some buttons. I really love this color. And I think I might get started on this first. If you're interested in seeing how these projects turn out, definitely let me know. Leave a comment, like the video, subscribe. You guys interacting with the video definitely helps me understand that you are interested or what you are interested in and create better content for you guys. Thanks so much for watching.